Hey guys, welcome back to my podcast, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more podcasts like this. And in today's video, I am going to be talking about Girls Planet 999. And so I've been watching all of the episodes, and today is a Monday, so I haven't watched episode 4 yet because it isn't out. It's out on Fridays, by the way. So if you are planning to watch the episodes and you don't want any spoilers, so it's only going to contain spoilers of episode 1, 2, and 3. If you don't want that, then maybe don't watch this video. But if you're not planning on watching Girls Planet 999 and just was curious about it, then feel free to continue watching. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my picks, like my favorite girls, and then some controversial topics, like I feel like some people are overrated, and just like the show itself is highly controversial, so I wanted to make a podcast on it. I did prepare some notes, so I am going to be looking at my computer screen while I do this. So yes, and I'm going to be extremely honest with you guys, like literally going to list out the people that I don't like, that just don't sit right with me, and like try to understand, right? I'm sure you guys have picks that you don't necessarily like either, and that's totally fine as long as you're not blatantly hating on them, which I am not doing. So don't worry about that. And also, I don't have your typical picks. Like, there are obviously picks that are a lot more popular, but I don't think any of my picks are like super, super popular or like guaranteed to make it into the top 9. Like, maybe some of them are like slightly guaranteed, but I don't know. And obviously, we're going to disagree because it's a controversial topic, like which members you like and which members you don't like. And we can't all have the same picks and the same opinions, so just keep that in mind. If you're going to disagree, do it respectfully. So, let's get started with my cell picks and my individual picks. So I do it on my iPad, which I'm filming with right now. I can't really show you guys, but I'll just list all of my picks out. So for my cell picks, I just do my top 3 Korean picks, like whoever the cells are in, because I don't want them to get eliminated. So my top 3 Korean picks are Lee Hyewon, or Lee Hyewon, and then Queen myah and Doah. Let's talk about each of them. Hyewon, she's so underrated. For context, she was in the Mr. Chu group with huening bahiyyih. Like, she did Mr. Chu, like, for the first round. Almost like an audition, but not really. And she was ranked 8 out of Korean, so that's, like, really good. And then she did, oh, this isn't, like, uploaded yet on the actual official episodes, but she was on the 5th season team, the Oh My Girl 5th season team, and she was wearing the white outfits. So like there's white versus black, and she was in the white team. And then Queen myah, she was in the crazy team, like the baby monsters, because the ones that were like wearing the blue pants. She's just so cute. By the way, just before we move on to Queen myah, vote for Lee Hyewon. She's literally my ult in Girls Planet 999, and she really deserves more. So if you have no one else to pick, I would highly suggest you pick her. Okay, but back to Queen myah. Yeah, she was in the crazy team. She's just really cute, and she also was the center for 17's Pretty You. So I also pick her as one of my top 3 Korean picks. And then Doah, I've been supporting her since maybe since like Produce 48, maybe a little after that. She was very popular, and I feel like she didn't get enough screen time in Produce 48, which is the reason why she didn't make it into Final Cut. However, she's so talented and deserves to re-debut. Yes, she has debuted in a group called Fanatics, but I feel like that group really, really flopped just because the company doesn't really push her out or anything like that, and the song was it was clashy, so I didn't really like it, but you should vote for her. And then moving on to the Japanese picks, I have Nonaka Shana. Her vocals are really, really good. I think she was in the Boombayah team along with ezaki Hikaru. I think everyone knows about her. But yeah, her vocals are so good, and she definitely deserves to debut. I forgot what team she was in for the second round though. Hold up, let me just search it up on YouTube. And even though the teams aren't like officially announced yet, there are little clips of it on YouTube. And by that I mean like oh yeah, she was in the Eve team. Well, I'm sure she'll do great too. I haven't watched that fan cam yet. And then we have Nagai Manami. So she's actually in Lee Hyewon's cell, which is why I got to know her. But she's also really, really cute. And her first audition thing was with the Japanese group, the one where they did Daya. They did a Daya song. I think it was Hug You. Yes. And then she also, because she's in the same cell as Lee Hyewon, she did the 5th season in the white team. She's also really cute and underrated, so I highly suggest you vote for her too. And then I don't have a third Japanese pick. I don't know why. I thought a lot of Japanese girls would stand out for me in the first episode, but it turns out there's not a lot of Japanese girls that really stand out to me. But I just choose random Japanese people for the third pick because you are kind of forced to do 9 picks, so like 3 Koreans, 3 Japanese, and 3 Chinese. And so moving on to my Chinese picks, we have Chiayi. And so if you guys know Fanatics, like I said, Kim Doah is in that group, and Chiayi is also in that group. She is the one that did the backflips. Like, there's a song called Vavi Girl, and she did these backflips, and they were kind of like trending for a while, but not anymore. But yeah, I highly suggest you check that out too. Also, this lighting is terrible because I'm against the light. I hope you don't mind that, and you can literally see my pajama pants. And then we have the last Chinese pick. I only have 2 Chinese picks. Her name is Yujin. She's quite popular, honestly. I don't really have strong opinions about her, but I think she's a good leader, and she's also pretty good in her talents. So yeah. And for the last Chinese picks, I just kind of choose random people each time. I don't choose the same person each time, but yeah. Just whoever stands out to me that day, I just pick. And then, yeah, like I said, the cell picks are where my Korean picks are because I really don't want them to get eliminated. And then let's talk about some random I can't talk. Let's talk about some random contestants that I just have something to talk about. These aren't like my favorites nor my least favorites, so just random people that I have something to say about. So first is Shen Ting. I think her name is, like, she's in the C group, and she's very popular in Korea. Like, people like her in Korea, and I feel like she could be in the top 9, the final round. So yeah, I'm rooting for her. She honestly was the Chinese #1, right? But I think her visuals stand out more than her talents. Obviously, her talents are pretty good too, but I think she deserved to be more of a visual member than like a talent kind of member. Yeah, she does fit the Korean beauty standards very well, which is why I can understand that she has a lot of like popularity. And there was this other girl, what was her name? She was in the C group, and she was known as the visual C group visual girls planet. Oh yeah, Chen Xinwei. I personally think Shen Xiaoting is prettier than Chen Xinwei, and also Chen Xinwei, she severely lacks in her talents. Also, I have something to say about her a little bit later, but we're gonna get onto that a little later. I think Shen Xiaoting is prettier. Just gonna say it here. And then let's talk about Kim Se-in. So she's in the K group, and I think a lot of you guys might know her because she was in the Yes or Yes team, and people were just basically really hating on her because she was claimed to be being lazy and not like cooperating with her team. And keep in mind that she's 16, so that's kind of like involved in the context. And so she was very evil edited by Mnet, and they literally like gathered clips of her like kind of just standing there and not practicing and not really cooperating with the team. But I feel like that was heavily evil edited, and the judges, I don't sit right with the judges. A lot of the times I really disagree with the judges, and I hate how they kind of get all of the major decision choices when, yeah, I just don't like that system, and they just overreact on so many things. Like, even when someone does like a very mediocre dance move or does mediocre facial expression, they're like, oh, but like it's not that wow worthy, you know? And also, like, sometimes they just increase their mistakes to be like that. There's this one guy, I think he's a dance instruction, and every time someone like, oh no, he's the vocal instruction, and then every time he hears like a really weird note or like a wrong note, he goes like, ugh, and that's just so mean. Like, I feel like he just does that on purpose. But anyway, Kim Se-in, let's get back to her. They were definitely biased against her, so Mnet and the judges, and she was quite lazy. I'm gonna admit that. Like, I'm not gonna like defend her or anything. I don't really have strong opinions about her, but she is definitely talented. But she like was seen of clips of like being lazy and being not so cooperative, but still like give her a break, you know? I feel like that's my opinion. You shouldn't hate on the 16-year-old girl just for being like lazy. And that was only in the clips that Mnet showed, and they want to show the more exaggerated clips too. yeah, she's still a child, and that doesn't mean she shouldn't own up to her responsibilities, but I'm just saying you shouldn't hate on her for that. Okay, moving on. Kim Chae-hyun. Okay, so this is where, like, I really, really disagree with the judges. So for her first audition thing, she did Black Mamba. She was in that group, and when she did the high note, she made a voice crack. And the judges were, like, so overreacting, especially Tiffany. Usually I like Tiffany, but for this one, I just did not like how she overreacted. And she was like, no, the entire stage just cracked because of that voice crack. No, it's not that serious. She made a voice crack. And so many other contestants from J group and C group, they made like these teensy tiny mistakes, and they did not over exaggerate on that. So definitely she is a little bit biased against, but she does have screen time, so I'm happy about that. And she does have a lot of votes, and I can really tell that she really cares about other members in her team, and she's actually really kind. So I'm rooting for her, although I'm not voting for her. Yeah, I'm rooting for her. I hope she debuts too. She deserves it, because she has the visuals, the talents, the kindness, as I said. Yes. And then Yujin, obviously, we can't talk about Girls Planet 999 without talking about her. She's definitely gonna make it in, and if she doesn't, then that's really, really faking it or making really unnecessary drama. Yeah, she's definitely going to make it into the top 9. I can just tell that, and I guess she deserves it. But then if you think about it on another side, there should be more girls that deserve to debut too. But that's honestly just up to you on how you interpret that. I think she deserves to debut, because, you know, her time in CLC obviously did not do enough justice for her. And then let's talk about Kang Yeseo. Kang Yeseo was also in that crazy team. She was pretty talented, but the thing is, I'm gonna be honest here, I don't think she deserved to make it into the top 9. Like, she was, I think, rank 9 for that, and she got to choose her own cell and stuff. Well, everyone got to choose herself, but, you know, like, priority picks. And so I feel like even though she's talented, the judges kind of overemphasized on that, I guess. Yeah, I think she's definitely talented and has the visuals, has the idol vibe most importantly. But yeah, I feel like there are so many more other talented people that could have outweighed her talents. But I'm glad that she's doing well, you know? And she also was in the group Busters, and that was similar to kind of like Kim Doah's situation, where she's debuted before, but that was obviously a flop, so she wants like a second chance. I think she deserves a second chance, and she definitely has a potential to be in the top 9 for the final round. And I also want to talk about Jung Ji-yoon. I don't know if you guys know about her, but she's in the ruiqi, and she's also with another popular Japanese member. I forgot who. Well, she's with the ruiqi cell. Yeah, she's very pretty and talented, and I think she really deserves to debut. And I hope she gets more recognition too. She's quite popular right now, which I'm really proud of, but I feel like she could be even more popular. Yes. And then let's talk about Chaibing. She has a lot of popularity within the international fans and the Korean fans, so I'm glad about that. And she has really good expressions. Like, she seems really cool, so I almost voted for her, but then I heard more of her rapping, and I personally feel like it's too nasally and not very pleasant to hear, but her expressions are amazing, so that kind of outweighs it. But then again, without, like, solid rapping skills, it's difficult for me to vote for her. I feel like she could just... It's just not very, like, a clear sort of rapping, which I don't really like. But that's totally just my opinion. If you guys like that, go for it. And then we can't talk about Girls Planet 999 without talking about huening bahiyyih. I mean, we talked about her earlier. Honestly, I have no strong opinions about her, except for that I hope she gets recognition as herself and not just by her brother's name. Do you hear someone just... Okay, it's gone now. Yeah, I hope she gets recognition as herself. Obviously, without her brother's like debut and her name, she wouldn't get popularity. Yeah, that's just honestly just the truth. She gets a lot of votes, which I'm like glad she does, because she is pretty stable and she's pretty too. But you know, there's nothing like that really outstands about her, and I hope she finds that. Like, maybe this isn't her time to debut, just because I feel like she is lacking in some categories. Like, she definitely lacks the power, and her expressions aren't amazing, I guess. But yeah, but you have to admit that she wouldn't be like very popular without... Yeah, okay. Okay, now let's talk about the not so good parts about Girls Planet 999 and the girls that I find a little bit overrated. But we have to talk about this. It's honestly inevitable. And maybe you don't know about this even though you're watching Girls Planet 999. But if you do know about more of the K-Net's world, then maybe you do. So a lot of the K-netizens were not happy about when Girls Planet 999 first like kind of featured, like just the teasers, because it was saying that a lot of Chinese members and Japanese members were joining. So you might be like, oh, that's so xenophobic, why would they do that? But the thing is, they're fine with Japanese people, it's just the Chinese members, some of them. And why? This is not because of racism. If anything, they're the ones saying they're racist. Okay, it's like a very, very long story, but I tried to kind of condense it and then wrote it down. So yeah, I have to explain about the Chinese contestants of the show and why Koreans don't support them. And so if you're like one of those international fans that really, really just hate K-netizens, this is not your time. Coming from someone who's honestly neither a K-net or an international fan, I'm kind of like both and neither at the same time. So anyway, these Chinese contestants are getting lack of support or even hate just because, not just because of their pro-North Korea and anti-America stance. So they uploaded these posts saying, like, it was about the Korean War and saying how they were pro-North Korea and anti-America, and also saying anti-Korea at the same time. And if you're not Korean, I don't really think you have the right to say this, if this is like right or wrong. Kind of like how when you're talking about cultural appropriation, you don't get a right to say it unless it's about your culture. So basically these posts were just kind of like hating on South Koreans and being extremely racist, if I'm being honest. And so this is a very sensitive topic because it's literally hating on South Korea on like the topic of Korean War. And so like, why are they in South Korea if they hate it and they support North Korea? Like, why not go to North Korea and become idols, is what some over-exaggerating K-netizens are saying. I can get where they're coming from, like maybe not to that point, but still it's very racist. And unless they've apologized, which I don't think any of them have for uploading these things, I don't think that they should really be supported by Koreans. I can totally understand that. So I just wanted to give that kind of viewpoint. And yeah, what else did I write here? Oh, and a lot of international fans were kind of talking about this and saying, yeah, but their company forced them to do it probably, or their family gets hurt or something like that. Still, it's a very sensitive topic, and I don't think you should talk about it in like that light-headed way, I guess. Like, it shouldn't be that insensitive. Like, it's a matter that's quite serious and not something to easily look over. So these trainees did get hate that uploaded these posts. I don't know if they uploaded by themselves because of their own opinions or if they uploaded because of their companies. But some of these girls who did post these things, I just wanted to give a list of them just in case you don't want to support them for doing that, which, you know, if you do if you do want to support them, you can do that. If you don't want to, you can also do that. Because, you know, like, why would you become a K-pop idol if you, or like join a Korean show if you support North Korea and you're anti-South Korea, anti-America? Like, you know? Okay, anyway, let's continue. 왕외로 수리치 천신wei, 시지윈, 마위링, Fuyaning, Liangzhou. So just keep in mind that they might not get votes from Korea, because you have to remember that the votes are 50% Korean and then 50% international, no matter where you are. So it's basically Koreans versus any other country. So you have to keep that in mind, that these people will probably not get as many votes just because they uploaded these things. And I'm not even sure if this is everyone that uploaded these posts, but the more popular ones that uploaded these pro-North Korean anti-America posts. Yeah. For more information, you probably should have more research about this. I just did like the very borderline research, what I've kind of seen from Korean comments and things like that. I definitely think that I honestly don't know how to feel about it. Like, cause like some of these girls are really talented, but then I keep thinking, like, why come to Korea and become an idol if you hate Korea so much? That is my humble opinion on it. Don't attack me about it. Don't attack K-nets about it, you know? Like, they deserve to be a little bit angry at these contestants for joining a Korean show. It makes sense. Yeah. I hope you understand that slightly. I mean, if you need more explanation, I highly suggest you do more research on it. There's this Korean word. It's called hangmi wonju in Korean. I don't know how to directly translate it, but that kind of briefly explains everything. So apart from that, let's talk about the contestants that I don't necessarily love, or I feel like they're a little bit overrated. So C group's Wednesday. She's like the blonde one. She's in C group, and she was in the green and blue outfits of the Yes or Yes team. And I know some people really, really like her, so this might offend you a little bit, but I just don't find her voice extremely appealing. And I don't know, her leadership skills are so passive aggressive, so I just kind of get scared over that. And also ruiqi, I think everyone knows about her, like the mint-ish hair in the Eve team. And the international fans are like head over heels for her, but Korean netizens don't like her obviously because of her support for North Korea. But I think she's just kind of mediocre, maybe a little bit overrated. Like international fans love her skill. I think it's a little bit overrated. And then someone that I think is quite overrated is J Group's Yurina. And she's the one that did fancy for her first round, and she also has a lot of popularity, but I kind of don't understand it because in Fancy she did the parts where she was just kind of like walking and then singing, so obviously she was quite stable, and her visuals I think is why she gets a lot of popularity. She definitely is pretty, I'm going to admit that, but I don't think her skills are like worth all that, you know? She has stable vocals, she has visuals, but it isn't anything too like outstanding, so I don't understand why a lot of people love her. Koreans too, I don't understand it, to be honest, but that's my opinion. Also the judges really, really overrate her is what I've seen, like from what I've seen from the performances. So I think she did fancy in her first round, and then what did she do for her second round? I'm gonna search this up, sorry. Yurina Girls Planet 999. Oh, right. She did How You Like That. And in How You Like That, she didn't have a lot of lines either. I don't know. And then C Group's Fuyoning, I think everyone shares similar opinions about her. Like, she's highly controversial, and she said the N-word multiple times. And although she apologized, people didn't accept it. I don't know, it's so like double standards though. I'm not saying I support her, but when some people apologize for saying the N-word, they're like, oh, it's okay, it's like past, they've moved on, they've learned from their experiences. But then when people do, like, people like Fu Yaning apologize for it, they're like, that's so late, so now you say this? I don't understand that. But honestly, she should have respect for her seniors, and I don't support her honestly. But even from like episode 3, her idea of like being bossy and like being a leader, it just didn't vibe with me. I just didn't like it, and I feel like she just wanted all of the good center parts to herself and didn't really care about what others like thought or felt. Kind of similar, not similar, like the complete opposite of Kim Tae-hyun. She really cared about what others cared about, even like the J group people that couldn't really communicate with Koreans, and also like really thought about how much center time each person gets, like, and tried to make it as fair as possible. Because Ji-won, you know, the girl from Cherry Bullet, she was like, oh, I want the most amount of parts and the center, and so Kim Tae-hyun was like, but it's not fair, you know. Okay, anyway, J group's ezaki hikaru, she has really good expressions. I'm gonna give it to her for that, and she really has her own vibe. Like, I can sense that she has her own sense of style, and she really understands it, which is very strong. But the thing is, I personally find her high-pitched rapping voice not so very pleasant, but maybe you guys think differently. Also, it isn't what I expected her voice to be either. It's very like high-pitched, like compared to her dancing skills and her facial expressions, which are more like dark, I guess. Yeah. Oh, and I wrote this again. Chen Shiwei is honestly only there for the visuals, and yeah. Wow, I thought I wrote like a lot. I wrote like 2 pages, and I read all of that in 23 minutes. But let me get back to the girls that I actually like, you know? Let's get back to some positivity. We've been talking about some not so positive things here. Literally, guys, support Lee Hyewon. Oh, I'm begging you. She's literally so talented. And on my Universe app, oh, I didn't download it on my phone. I don't download it on my iPad. But I also made like a TikTok on it, and you guys were also saying like who your picks are, and I found them very interesting because they're so different. Oh yeah, I didn't mention Kim Daeon, which was, she was like the first place for the Koreans. And in episode 2, she was so sad that she didn't get into the top 9 picks, and then later the judges were like, oh, we knew you would make it in, so we didn't add you on purpose. And then a lot of her fans got mad because they were like, why? That's so, like, it doesn't match up. Like, why would you not choose her because you know she's gonna get the popularity? That's not how the thing like the vote system should work. So this is where I think the judges are also quite controversial. But anyway, I really appreciate how some people are like kind of like going back and forth between different girls because they want to be as fair as possible because they support a lot of girls. And I really like that energy. Like, keep doing that, but just make sure you add Lee Hyewon into them because she's so underrated. Literally check out her 5th season fan cam. You can tell that she's extremely talented. She does the very last chorus and her voice is so stable and it's just so nice to hear too. And her dancing is so good and just she has this vibe that I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I really like it. Oh, and now that we've talked everything that I wrote in here, let me talk about some life updates. My voice is sore right now. I have this online class in 2 hours. Oh, it's 2 hours. It's okay. I'm gonna eat some matcha ice cream that we have yet. Today's the 24th. It's Tuesday. I filmed this earlier because on Friday I'm gonna be uploading that airplane video, and then on the September 3rd, this is probably when it's going to premiere. But I go to school on September 1st, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm so scared. Like last year was definitely difficult, but the thing is, I did online school for most of it because we were forced. Sorry, my window is open, so it's really loud right now. But anyway, I did mostly online school for last year, so that was definitely more easier. But then now that I actually have to do actual school, it's stressing. Like, it's stressful. And I also have to go tomorrow for this band thing, and then I also have to go the day after for, what is it? I have to go for, oh yeah, school pictures, and also to collect forms and stuff like that. I'm scared though. I'm so scared. I don't want to go. Also, I don't have an outfit picked. And I also want to make a closet video, like where I just kind of introduce my closet to you guys and kind of organize it because it's dirty. And I'm also planning on kind of like giving away the stuff that I don't wear anymore, maybe the things that don't fit me anymore, things like that. So maybe I'll make a video on that. If you guys want... Motorcycle coming by? Okay. If you guys want me to... Like, if you guys have any suggestions on what I should film for my closet video, then leave down your suggestions. I also want to make a TikTok where it's like making outfit or like back to school outfit ideas. I feel like that would be extremely fun. Yeah, so this is a really short podcast. I'm so sorry, but I genuinely thought I would take a lot longer to film this. This is really bringing back to the old days where I thought it would be like an hour long, but it ended up being like 30 minutes. I won't end it here. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more. What else could we talk about? Oh yeah, I also want to make an ASMR podcast because also I always put this cover on top so that dust doesn't collect. Yes, I also want to make an ASMR podcast because I haven't done that in a while, and I didn't bring my microphone to Korea because obviously what would happen if it got destroyed. So I want to make an ASMR video. Leave down your suggestions on what kind of triggers I should do because I feel like I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Sorry, I don't know. I extremely just thought about my outro. Bye!